For millennia, the galaxy has seen several notorious bounty hunters, guns for hire, people willing to take on the most dangerous of jobs for the right sum of credits. Cad Bane was one such individual. Hailing from the planet of Duro, Bane grew up with an unspectacular childhood. Deciding to take his identity and fortune into his own hands, Cad took up mercenary work, targeting a man who turned out to be masquerading as a Jedi. After sparing the imposter's life with the condition of tutelage in return, Cad Bane's exploits became legendary across the universe. During the Clone Wars, his exploits would garner the attention of the Sith Lords Darth Sidious and Darth Tyrannus. Taking on several jobs including an infiltration of the Jedi Temple and the attempted capture and assassination of Chancellor Palpatine, Bane proved to be a consistent thorn in the side of the Order. Though Cad Bane's life would eventually end like all others, his legacy and legendary skill would remain eternal.
Earth, despite its short lifespan and small territory, is known for producing some of the most dangerous men in the multiverse. One such individual was Jonah Hex. Jonah was born in Missouri in the 19th century. He was abused as a child and sold into slavery to an American Indian tribe as a teenager. Through a series of unfortunate events, he found his way back to settler soil and joined the American Civil War as a Confederate, though he ultimately backed out of the war for moral reasons. When he returned to the tribe, he was branded a traitor and given the mark of the demon, a red-hot tomahawk forced against his face to disfigure him. Jonah spent the rest of his life earning money through bounty hunting, first through the American frontier, then through all of time and space, as he was forced into conflicts with the Justice League of America. He ultimately met his end at a ripe old age and was outgunned by a younger, faster slinger. His legacy was continued by his great-great-granddaughter, but it wouldn't be long before he got back into the fight himself. Even millennia after his bloodline ended, he was still regarded as one of the greatest marksmen and bounty hunters who ever lived.
Cad Bane's age is not actually known to us, yet he displayed no signs of physical penalty, suggesting that he remained in the prime of his life. Bane was a member of an alien race referred to as the Duros. Though they were known to possess a high affinity for mathematics and space travel, they possess no particular advantages over the typical human. Cad doesn't have many displays of strength to show off, yet he is strong enough to stagger opponents with tackles and snap necks with a single arm, showing competent degrees of physical power. His reflexes were exceptionally astute, capable of intense rapid fire, able to keep some of the best of the Jedi at bay with an onslaught of blaster fire. He could also breach the guard of Jedi with the assistance of his equipment, as well as making expert use of evasion to avoid redirected blaster bolts. Though he's displayed no signs of fatigue, he doesn't have any real displays of pain tolerance or durability, leaving the limits of his resilience almost completely to speculation. One final thing worthy of note is that he occasionally employed the use of breathing tubes. Though they likely assisted his ability to breathe in harsh environments, they weren't essential, as he has been shown to be capable of breathing without them several times. On the whole, while Cad Bane was not known to be the most robust bounty hunter in the galaxy, he certainly proved that he could still hold his own against the best the galaxy had to offer.
Humans are known for their surprising dexterity, strength, and speed, and Jonah was no exception. He's tough enough to be hung from a noose and walk away, take bullet wounds mid-battle and continue fighting, and of course, survive a hot iron branded on his skin. In combat, he disarms opponents with palm strikes, implying that his strength is such that a swing from his open hand is just as capable as a full punch. He's also muzzled alligators with his bare hands and wrestled them down while submerged underwater. Finally, his reactive speed is his bread and butter on the battlefield. One time, when pressed against 6 men who already had their guns pointed at him, Hex drew his own gun and killed them all before they could fire a single shot. He can not only dodge bullets at point blank, but he can slice bullets out of the air when they're fired on him. Even when on the verge of unconsciousness, he's shot down a snake after it lunged at him, but before it could bite. Most notably, he was able to gun down Bruce Wayne before the latter could draw a batarang. There is a reason Hex is known as one of the most dangerous men of his time, and he earned that title by blazing a trail of blood and tears, some of it even being his own.
Both combatants have shown themselves to be near the level of superhuman, and are more than capable of holding their own against high-caliber opposition. Both have demonstrated a similar ability when it comes to their speed on the draw. Bane's ability to fight on the level of a trained force wielder says a lot about his own abilities in a physical fight.
However, while they can certainly match each other in reaction time, Jonah has the superior showings of resilience. Bane did manage to withstand a mind probe from 3 of the Order's most powerful Jedi, which demonstrates his incredible willpower, but he is yet to fight through the same level of physical punishment that Jonah has. Physical advantage goes to Jonah Hex.
Bounty hunters are often known for the assortment of weapons they carry and the skill of which they can employ them. As such, Cad Bane's reputation as one of the most dangerous mercenaries of his time was well earned. Known to respect but not fear the power of the Force, Cad Bane was highly skilled at making the Jedi over-reliant on its power, having contended with the likes of Obi-Wan Kenobi, Anakin Skywalker, and Ahsoka Tano several times. Bane was an incredible marksman, able to place pinpoint shots with ease, as well as keep Jedi at bay, preventing them from getting too close. As per the Bounty Hunter Code, Cad made sure not to engage Jedi at close range, unless forced to, but when he did, his tactical mind showed its face. He would combine his informal skills of hand-to-hand combat with the use of his equipment, using his gauntlets and bowlers for distraction, and making use of his jet boots to evade and achieve greater environmental positioning. He's proven his effectiveness several times, getting past the defenses of the aforementioned Jedi, some of which were considered to be among the best of the 10,000 knights the Order had to offer. When all is said and done, it is no wonder that Cad Bane was regarded as one of the most reputable bounty hunters in the galaxy.
Much of Jonah's training in hand-to-hand combat was given to him by the Apache tribe, becoming proficient with hunting weapons and close-quarters combat. This was enhanced further by his time in the Civil War. The Confederate military gave no formal training, but their soldiers were given ample experience on the battlefield, guaranteeing only the best of the best lived to tell the tale. Hex, being a hunter first and foremost, was known for setting traps and utilizing the environment to his advantage. While one could infer from this that he was incapable in one-on-one combat, nothing could be further from the truth. He's extremely well versed and often disables his enemies before they've even thrown a punch. He was already the most dangerous man alive in the time of the Old West, where it was every man for himself, and one bad day could result in death. But he really proves his mettle in his adventures across the cosmos. He's gone up against the likes of Wild Bill Hickok, Quentin Turnbull, Batman, and Yosemite Sam. Because Warner Brothers.
This round is difficult to call. The two seem to be on par in both experience and capability. They have both taken on superhuman combatants and come out on top.
Not only that, but they both have opposite tactics in combat. Bane is an acrobatic fighter who attempts to dance around his opponents and keep them at a distance. Hex is a stoic warrior who gets in close and kills his enemies quick.
There's really nothing one has done that the other shouldn't be capable of as well. Thus, we cannot call a winner in a straight fist fight. Bane and Hex are declared as equals as martial artists. Cad Bane carried a large assortment of equipment and killing tools on his person, ready to deal with virtually any situation. His primary weapons were a pair of custom LL-30 Blastech pistols, which offered mid-range firepower with a high rate of fire, a similar benefit to the Wester 34s employed by Jango Fett. As previously mentioned, Bane's boots were outfitted with rocket boosters, allowing for greater battlefield mobility. Yet they were also equipped with electromagnetics, allowing Bane to negate the effects of low gravity environments. Though he wore no armor, his gauntlets offered all the protection he needed. When breaching the guard of an adversary, he could inflict a painful electric shock, strong enough to incapacitate even Jedi. Much like Jango Fett, he made use of a wrist-mounted flamethrower, capable of scorching foes alive, and keep them at a distance. In addition, he's made use of tear gas to stagger and incapacitate enemies, and immobilize targets through the use of bowlers and cable launchers. On the whole, Cad Bane is well equipped to deal with any job that he may undertake.
Jonah was a man of simple tastes, using the simple tools of the trade on most missions. He initially started with a pair of single-action Army cavalry revolvers, as was standard for a Confederate trooper. But thanks to his time in the 21st century, Hex carries twin Ruger Black Hawk 357 Magnums. These were single-shot revolvers with a total of 6 rounds in each before reloading was necessary. Fortunately, he never relied solely on these pistols. His time with the Apache gave him proficiency with knives and axes, so he often carried one or both of these on his travels. His time in the Army also encouraged swordsmanship, instilling a skill with a saber into him. But he wasn't just limited to these weapons, and really I would compare him to Marvel's Bullseye, or even John Wick in this regard. If it exists, it can be used as a tool for killing. Buckets, sheriff's badges, dynamite, etc. Possibly his greatest weapon, though, was his instinct, that almost gave him a sixth sense for where his enemies were, and when they were going to strike. Overall, a straightforward, but highly robust and effective arsenal at his disposal. The advantage here is a practical one, rather than a combative one, as the true effectiveness of one's equipment comes from the skill in which the wielder uses it. Hex's tools are more practical in a one-to-one fight, and he's used them with more deadly precision than his opponent.
While Jonah has proven that he's more than capable of competing with better equipped opposition, there is no denying that Bane is better equipped for this fight. His blasters are more advanced than the old school revolvers employed by Hex. Furthermore, his gauntlets and jet boots offer more options and ultimately yield greater benefits in battle. Edge to Cad Bane. A battle between Cad Bane and Jonah Hex is easy to set up. Imagine that Hex has been taken from his time and dropped into the Star Wars galaxy, and resumed his work as a bounty hunter.
Cad and Jonah are both technically on the outside of the law and would find common ground as ruthless hunters. But as soon as their drastically different moral codes begin to clash, a fight between the two is inevitable.
Let's say that the confrontation has the same setup as Bane's original fight with Boba Fett in the deleted scenes of TCW, with hostages on the line and the two starting several paces from one another, on an open field.
If a fistfight were to play out between the two of them, it would be a drawn-out endurance fight. Bane may have the better weapons, but they're all meant for the sake of stunning an opponent or stalling for time. Fire, tasers. Hex has proven he can deal with these kinds of attacks and keep going, but a dagger through the heart at close range, or a hatchet to the face, that's difficult to counter, especially when you've mostly trained to fight energy weapons.
Realistically though, the battle wouldn't go on this far. Jonah and Cad are gunslingers through and through. The fight will more than likely end with a shootout, and here, Hex also holds an advantage. He's proven time and time again that he can outshoot foes with superior weapons. His marksmanship is almost supernatural in its speed and precision. If you can outdraw the Batman, you can shoot nearly anyone.
In a 7-10 split, we declare Jonah Woodson Hex the victor.
If you like this video, please subscribe for more, and also subscribe to Rico, Chico, Malico. We'll have another Versus on his channel, so keep your eyes peeled for that. Thank you everyone for watching, and we will see you guys later. Peace.